Okay, well, welcome to YGOverdose's first Dueling Network TCG Advanced Format Tournament. Uh, this is round one's feature match between Victor Nolen and Dan LaMartina. Uh, I chose these guys I chose this match as the feature match for this round because Victor Nolen Prez is playing a pretty standard wind-up deck, and even though he's main decking the Soul Taker, and windups were very largely represented in this tournament. They were by far the most popular deck, and Dan LaMartina though is playing dragons, and his dragon deck is notable in this particular matchup because he's main decking the three maxis and the three effect veilers, and I thought it'd be really interesting to see how that played out, to see if dragons, had an advantage over windups. If windups are going to be at the next YCS the most popular deck, if it's anything like this tournament, then it'll be really interesting to see how that three maxis and three effect veilers play out. Anyway, here's the match. Wasn't really paying attention. I don't know who went first. I think Victor went first. 5, 6, 7. Yeah, Victor went first. All right. I'm not gonna narrate the whole thing. You can watch it. I'll try to make as little noise as possible unless it's relevant. I might speculate here and there on face downs. I think Dan's got the right go, etc. Wow. He runs the one Eclipse Wyvern, milled it off the right go right away. Also hit a Maxi and a Lila. So still no darks for Dan. Oh, and Borax the Clean is here to back up this video recording in case this doesn't work out. He's also going to be video recording the match. And Overdose Anthony is my teammate, Anthony Alvarado, the worst person on our team, by far. Just kidding. That's Paul Levitin. Oh my god. Good joke. Anyway. So to be clear, Victor went into Zen mains next to the Thunder King. I don't think that was especially necessary, all things considered. So Dan's in a good spot. He got the card trooper for the Thunder King. That's okay. Well, that's not much better for Victor. Um, you never want to Veiler the card trooper just so your Thunder King can survive. I'm pretty sure Dan's got enough. Even if he wanted to make a push right now, I'm pretty sure he has enough that he can get rid of that Thunder King and then some. Whatever he drops, he's gonna get back Red Eyes too and stuff like that. I think Dan's in a good spot right now. If I were Victor, I don't think I would have gone Zen mains. It might wind up being important. Oh, that's terrible news for Victor. It might wind up being important. I guess it's going to wind up being important. Maybe. Depends if he wants. Oh, he's probably not going to OD. Anyway, I probably would have saved my tour guide for like a Zenmaity play if I drew a shark next turn or something like that. Um, like I always want to leave that option open. Unless he's already got a magician in hand. It's hard to know. It's hard to judge plays just by looking at them without knowing the other cards in hand. Just sense that Victor was very worried about losing right then and there, and that's why he went to Zen Maidens. If I were Victor, I would have done one of those. Oh no 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 no! Wait, before you go into battle phase, then Valor, because he kind of just wasted the Valor right there. You see what I mean? It's not like the most. It's not illegal. You before you go into the battle phase, both players have to confirm. But if he would have seen that Dan went Reborn on Dark Flare, he wouldn't have wasted the Valor there. Kind of unfortunate for Victor. And to be clear, this is pretty standard windups. There's no BLS or anything like that. This is Dan's deck. Dan's got 3 Dark Flares. Just trying to see if he go Tyrus or something like that. Zenmoa, whatever. That'd be neat. Let's take a look at Dan's extra deck. See what he's looking at. That's not Dan's. Let's look at Dan's extra deck. Does he have a way? Likely candidates are 3s and 5s, and maybe an Armory arm play if he's got a Valor in his hand. But no. Anyway, so you see the well, whatever. You see it. That was a good play by Victor. Set the storm. Not like you're gonna do anything else with it. Okay, so let's look at rank 3 plays you can consider. Tempo. All right, Tempo is probably coming out. He will probably stack the Trooper and the Tour Guide and leave the Sangan. That's awkward. I think I would have charged before I Troopered. I guess it doesn't matter really. Too many Lilas and Raikos. Pretty sure he runs 3 of each. Yes, he does. Let's check out the Watchers chat. I'm really glad that he did that, because if he had stacked with Trooper, I was going to say something. I wasn't a fan of doing that. Does he run Night Assailant? He does run Night Assailant. I don't know if I don't remember what was in the grave. I should check that out. By the way, Dan was made a right play there. Not something that, it's pretty popular, but it's not something everybody does. You always want to wait till the battle phase to use Tempo so it doesn't get Valored. That's a pro tip. Anyway, I don't remember if he milled the tour guide or the Night Assailant. Unless he has another tour guide in his hand. I mean, that's actually very possible. I would think now that Dan has another tour guide in his hand. Otherwise, I would have just gone into tour guide. Note Dan's, I'm not going to say impatience, but aggressiveness. He could have gotten Tempo up to 2700 if he had just waited a turn. And it's not like the Zen main was going to do anything for Victor. Actually, be interesting to see if that was the fifth monster. That might have been just a straight up misplay. I forget what the other spell might have been. Not having access to the graveyards really is annoying right now. I think it was like a Fiendish Chain. I could be misremembering. But anyway, if that was the fifth monster, that was definitely a misplay. Those I mean, because that Zen mains could have got the Tempo up to 27, and it wasn't gonna do anything for Victor. Just made the pot live. Anyway, I think that Victor. Wow, well, at least Storm's gone. I think the Dan's got another tour gun in his hand, and there's nothing really he can do with it to get rid of Reaper. And Dark Armed is gone, so he's probably going to set the Raikou. Unless he milled it. I mean, not milled it, discard it with the recharge. I don't really remember. But even still, that Raikou's not going to resolve. There's definitely like a warning or a Fiendish Chain or something down. Dan's going to have a problem with that Reaper. I saw BLS. I remember BLS was milled. Wasn't paying attention so much. I feel like Sorcerer was milled. He's gonna have to like invest cards in that, like, and bait out those traps too. Unless he happened to draw Night Assailant. But it's gonna still have the same problem with the warning and chains. Well, Victor has an opportunity now to come back. Now all he needs to do is draw a Magician and a Shark. Let's see if he gets lucky. You've also got a sense that at this point Dan probably has a Maxi in his hand. I think one Maxi and one Veiler were milled. But I mean, he's not doing anything. You got to think like Dan's hand is something like that tour guide, Light Pulsar, and Maxi, right? I mean, that's what I would think. Maybe a recharge is in there someplace. Maybe instead of the tour guide. But it's kind of like a stalemate, that Reaper making it difficult for Dan to move forward. Victor won't be able to necessarily push through Dan's hand trap. That's going to definitely get warnings or Fiendish Chained. Yeah. I think Victor was thinking for a while. He probably drew like a level 3 monster that he was considering going off on. And if that was the case, it could have been he could have drawn Shark, right? I don't know. But if that was the case, I think he made a right call with chilling on that Reaper. That Reaper is putting in work right now. Let's see how many Reapers Victor runs. Just the one. What can he draw? Oh, he and he did not open up many windups. For a wind-up deck, you really want to know it. Well, at least it's not one of those boring games uh, where, you know, he just opens up Magician Shard. It's just a different kind of boring game. Could that be the third? He's referring to the face-down monster. He's saying if that could be the third Ryko, which suggests to me that he doesn't have an answer for that. Um, I don't think he's thinking about Night Assailant. You know, this actually makes me think. This makes me think Victor has a compulse face down, and that he's considering compulsing back the Ryko to save his Reaper for another turn. Uh, I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm sensing that. But I also don't think he's considering Night Assailant as an out, which could really mess him up if he decides to not use the compulse, and that winds up being the Night Assailant. Yeah, I'm pretty confident he's got the compulse down. Where's that dark hole? He runs it, right? Yeah. Oh, there it is. Oh. Oh, that was huge. Oh, it was the third right go. Victor feels really good right now. That's probably a magician set. He probably has a rat in his hand. Or just doesn't want to die. I don't think there's anything else he could set. Pretty sure you're holding another Veiler too. That's a good read by Victor. I mean, I agree. That's my sentiment as well. Yeah, that has to be a magician. Finally dropping Pulsar. Victor's got the right reads here. That's the same sentiment I've got. Dan is playing very conservative now for an aggressive deck like uh, Dragons, like where they've got the bunch of big guys. It's important to note that you're gonna find success in that in just like in any other deck with that tight but aggressive, conservative but aggressive sort of playstyle. And Dan right now uh, is playing that well, very well. Dan's playing very well. So he's probably got he passed. He didn't do anything. Tells me he's got Gores or Tragodia. I don't think he realistically expects that that's gonna pay off. I think I think it's probably a Tragodia, and he was kind of hoping maybe he flipped up the Magician and poked for a little damage. But I mean that would have been stupid. That wasn't gonna happen. I can't imagine Dan is just gonna pass this turn back. He just wow he passed. Maybe he's got Lila's and he's just afraid of decking out. Yeah, I mean he's or I mean he could also have been drawing a bunch of max season Veilers and stuff. Seems like Victor's ready to go off. Yeah, that was a magician. Um, Dan certainly has a maxi. Wow, wow, no maxi. That's ridiculous. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, that's terrible. That is just the kind of opening that Victor needed. Now let's see if he can capitalize on that. I wasn't looking. Did he search shark? You wouldn't know, right? I mean, you wouldn't be able to tell me. Oh, this is so annoying. Oh, so the magician was Veilered. I don't think he has anything in his graveyard though to use. That's interesting. That's funny, Victor. I agree with you. I wonder if he's gonna wall out. That's that's interesting. He's just attaching, so uh, he can special with the rat, then special the shark back to the magician. Man, if Dan doesn't have a max C that he's been slow playing, that's what Dan's thinking. Dan has to have the max C. I mean, I hope he does. Well, I don't hope, but I would think that he's been thinking this whole time. What would be the right time to use it? Because that's really important when you play against windups. You can't just max C the first time that they put something on a chain for you to special summon, for them to special summon. I mean, you'll draw your card with max C and you might be able to stop them, but that's not going to be necessarily the critical moment that that you should max C. It's like what Evan Vargas taught us all about the. I mean, it's not directly relevant to this, but uh, he shared with the community for the first time. Oh, he's got another Veiler. Well, I'll tell you anything, something about Max C. Evan Vargas pointed out, I think he was the first one, that everyone back in the day, when agents first came around and people were playing Max C, that he was, or that most people were playing it wrong, in that when you pay the first 500 for Venus, usually that's when people will play Max C. And Evan pointed out it's better to wait until they pay for the second time. So I mean, you're still going to draw your one card, but it's either they're going to leave the two balls out there or go into gotcha and you'll get your plus. And compare that to the alternative where, uh, uh, you just do it the once and then they can drop another Venus and then drop the two balls after that. Anyway, it's not relevant. I don't know why I'm going into it. He did bring out the Trag. I mean, I sense he had the Trag. It's unfortunate that he had two Veilers and no Max Cs. That's something to note. I don't like, personally, I don't like to mix up Trags and Veilers in the same deck when I can avoid it. Same thing with MSTs. They're just cards that make your Trag really weak for like no reason. It really hurts. Oh my god. Oh my god. That was so stupid. I didn't miss much. In the future, I'll type out messages to people. Remind me to send you messages every now and then to not time out. That was so retarded. Thankfully, I didn't miss much. Yeah, this sucks for Dan. I mean, he's not in a bad spot. He's gonna pop a back row. Probably gonna hit a prison right now. Um, or catch a fiendish chain, then he can stack and then drop a light pulsar next to that and run into this guy. Maybe one of those is a typhoon, and it'll work out. Like, Dan's not in a bad position, but Dan could be in a much better position if he had just gotten a little luckier and had that max C. It's a shame he hit the typhoon. Yeah, it's poo. So that tells me that the face down is probably a prison or a fiendish chain. Probably. I mean, I don't know. It could be a torrential or solemn. Like, there's no reason it can't be. Yeah, it's obvious. That'll matter if he has the torrential. It's interesting he's thinking about it. It could be a warning. He might be saving the warning for the light pulsar. Dan could also have two light pulsars. It might not matter. You know, Owen is sharing the sentiment with me that he's shocked that Victor's still in it. And, you know, that's something to note. Like, everyone thinks that, Maxis and Veilers are the greatest things to have in this matchup. But, uh, when you draw those Veilers and you're not putting pressure on the windup player, you're giving them all day to draw what they need to draw. I'm sure you'll be able to counter it, but in this case with Dan, he relied on the trag, um, which is it. It may not be bad, but you give wind up all day, especially when they have the factory out there. That's that could easily backfire. Anyway, so he dropped the dark arm, finally resolved Eclipse's effect and brought back the red eyes. Um, I don't know if he's gonna try to wall out right now. He probably. I mean, I think I would. If anything, just to bait out the torrential or the warning. Doesn't matter. I don't see a reason not to wall out right now, or to OD, as the case is. If he doesn't, he's just playing super conservative, and he's got to have another dark flare like in his hand or something. That's the only situation I think that you wouldn't want to drop the red eyes right now. Because if that dark flare dies, you don't want to keep the red eye stuck in your hand with your light pulsar. You don't want to remove your light pulsar, especially. Maestro's effect. Wow, he's playing really conservative. That's interesting. Uh, I think he's just trying to play around the prison right now. Um, I don't. I don't. I mean, it depends on what his hand is. I mean, again, everything's always dependent on what you have and stuff like that. But I don't know if I would have done it like that. Vic needs to call upon the power of a good wind-up monster. That's right. You need a magician right now. Ooh, no, no bueno, no bueno. Probably gonna pass. Hmm. What could Victor have drawn? Well, any one of these. Any one of these 21 guards. Minus what you've seen. What obviously not factory. Whatever. Oh, yeah. I had a feeling it was Typhoon. It seems like you always draw the Typhoons against dragons, and when you against dragons, like if you're playing dragons, it always seems that your typhoons hit their typhoons. That's actually, that's a good point. I personally hate playing decks that don't run traps but run typhoons. Like the kind of decks like dragons, for example, where you got to be aggressive and you want those typhoons, but your opponent is setting those typhoons. So whenever you play your typhoons, you're playing a guessing game. Unless you've got like a great read on your opponent, all you're doing is giving value to their otherwise dead typhoons. Though that could have been a minus, like that the victor might not have had that card, and your typhoon as a dragon player could have been something else. But it's not, because as the case is, uh, you traded off with it when you didn't have to. That's all I'm saying. You want to run typhoons, it's probably a good idea to run some traps or some other cards you can set or activate, like continuous spells or something. Um, Generally speaking, that's one of those things structurally that I never really cared much about dragons for. All right, he baited out that's probably game. He had to use the warning. That's not a misplay. What? There's no light pulsar in Dan's hand. Whoa. Someone. Are you as shocked as I am that Dan didn't have light pulsar? Well, that's the Night Assailant or Card Trooper. Uh, wow. Wow, that's really Maxi. So you had the Maxi, drew into it late. This is crazy. This match. Man, he didn't. Well, just to be clear, you can target one face. Yeah, I would have waited for the target first, but whatever. Vic has to try to deck him out here, right? Yes, I'm pretty sure he can too. Uh, Depends if Dan draws multiple light pulsars. And that really did change the game. I really thought he had. I didn't think he had that. Um, I mean, man, and Dan's got to be feeling a certain way right now. What is Victor doing? Oh, that's what he was saying. Okay, he only needs to make him draw 9 times. If he runs 3 magicians, he has it easy. Oh, that's what you meant. Yeah, he can do that. I should have made that more clear. Yeah. I think Dan is regretting his decision to activate the Max C. It's not like I think most players would have done the same thing in the same situation. I think Victor's making a good call here. I probably would have thought it out. I don't think he sat there and thought it out just to be clear beforehand. And he can get Rap and Pap for game. Uh, how many Veilers have been used? Uh, that's relevant. Oh, well, okay. I mean, I think there's another magician in there. Uh, Reveal Shark, Lower Shark, Magician. Well, Victor This might not be bad by Victor. This might be how Victor wins. I wish Victor would have just stopped. Like he's stopping now to put it together. Like you can tell he's pausing. He's thinking about it. He's trying to see if he can get 6 more draws out of this. Um, but uh, I wish he would have done that before he went into Zenmady. He just pops his rat, and then Levier is one of Dan's dudes. The Eclipse. It's I would mess up, he said. I don't think Victor sees it. I think he's a little confused. Yeah, I wonder if he could have decked him out if he went Rat Magician. Uh, never mind. Yeah, man. This is. I mean, this is tricky. This is windups. You know, you gotta think about what I want to get since I destroyed that play. This is windups. You know, you have to always think about what you want to do before you do it. Um, your board can fill up too quickly. Your guys can trigger. You got to make sure you have the right levels on the board. Uh, whoa, that's funny. So he's gonna go on Levier. That's one. Bring out Eclipse. I wonder if he runs Utopia, right? Even still, nope. I mean, I'm not walking through it right now only because it's easier to see when I have access to the graveyard and anything like that. Um, so like I don't want to speak and say something right now, but it seems like he could have gotten the extra 2 special summons off of this. Oh, does Victor run Utopia right? Let's look. He does not. He's bringing out a Zenmeister here. I don't know. If his nice down is if his face down is Trooper or Ryko, Perez could have won by doing the pap. If his night is down, it's irrelevant. I think 3 Ryko are gone. Man, man, Victor messed this up. There's no way that any of this makes sense. He misplayed just so bad. Yeah, yep, stupid misplays. Unbelievable. This when you take out the piece of paper. Oh my gosh. This when you take out a piece of paper and you write it down. Do something. If you can't keep track in your head. Uh, yeah, that's game. There's no way. pretty sure Dark Hole hasn't been played yet. And he's got 3 light pulsars in his hand, and there's no way around it. You know, the Insector Beetle or Insector Stag, I forget the name. This game. Vic, if you're reading that, that's for you, buddy. If if you wanted to pause this game, or at this point in the video, if you see that you know, the play that he would have made, anyone that wants to go through that, I don't really care enough to write it out and share it with them. Uh, if he got rat and went pap, he'd have and with 0 cards after he drew. I would need to go back, see grave. I also forgot how many cards you need to draw. I think it was 7. I'm not really sure. Oh, I can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, 10. 10's a lot. Trying to think what the board was like. It was a rat. I don't remember. Anyway, if you see the if you see it and you wanna comment, you can handle that. I'm not gonna bother with it right now. Or Owen could be right. It could be the case that there's only the max he could have done was 9. In which case, more to the point, is you're supposed to think about that sort of thing before you make your play. Like I said before, when he brought out the Zen Matey, you know, 10 cards isn't like 3 cards. It's not something you're just gonna be like, oh yeah, I'll figure this out as I go along. Like, no, you think about that beforehand. That's something you have to be accurate about. It'd be funny if the third one was in the grave. I mean, in the deck. I like that. Funny if third in deck. I don't know why Dan's taking so long. Pretty sure. No, I was gonna say Mace Stroke. Survives the torrential. Actually, so the light pulsar. I don't know why. Why I'm not mentioning that. I wish Dan would hurry up. If this was an event, I'd give him a slow play warning. Unless threatening war. I will send him the list. There's no threatening war to worry about. I'm wondering what Dan's wondering. Like, I'm curious, like, what's going on in his head. Like, he runs it, right? Like, boom, right there. I don't know who this YOLO Yu-Gi-Oh guy is posting in a Yu-Gi-Oh group, but he's really annoying. That might be the case. I don't remember if he has another magician left. Is he actually the Black Rose? Oh, all the Veilers are gone. We can piece together his hand if we remember. Uh, piece together Dan's hand. One C is left. One Light Pulsar. One Lila. One Recharge. One or two Recharge. I don't remember what was used. I think a Trooper. Gores. I don't remember about Lila's. Well, between me and Owen, we have terrible memories. Um, unless he is an OCG baller and doesn't play Dark Hole. No, he most certainly plays Dark Hole. Probably should have given that to before. Well, here are some cards that I'm spitballing. I'm not really sure. I think Max C's left, Tour Guide, uh, Card Trooper, I don't know if I said Gores. Maybe a Lila, the Tour Guide, Tragodia. Dad is gone. I don't remember. I know one Trag came down. I don't remember the other. A lot of useless cards then in Dan's hand. He's going to battle phase. That's wow. There's no Mirror Force, right? No Mirror Force. He's playing. One face-up card. Oh, okay, never mind. It's pretty. Oh, wondering. Yeah, I don't know. Dragon hand. He's dropping it now, etc. Yeah. 36. That's 14. He's not 14. 18. That's game. Or he's trying to go for game. I'd have to see his hand to see if that was, I think, the right play. But oh, 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 that's really bad for him. I mean, it's his game. You know, I mean, Dan like almost guaranteed to win, but and you know he's not, and Dan's not in a tough spot. If anything, he can exhibit away the drag if he wants to get rid of that factory and then put him on just I think a rat as an out. It's Dan's game. There's no way. Even by next turn. I've always been semi-fond of the Battle Fader Kai's Soul Exchange package. I've always preferred uh, Divine Sword Dimension Fusion myself. So he's definitely going to hit the Maestroke and the Levier. Not sure why he's waiting. This may be extra Gustav. Whatever. That's not immediately clear to me or obvious to me. Whoa. What happened? Pretty sure he should have gotten an attack in on Maestro. I'm not sure why he didn't. Oh, I guess he's just. It's the same thing. It's a functional equivalent. There's nothing different. Reaper is the one outer. Reaper is gone. Game's over. There's no card he could have drawn. Book prison. Keep them alive. Compulse. Book prison compulse. They don't survive this situation though. One of these two guys. Oh, you know what? That'd be funny. If he had a compulse and compulses up the bouncer, this hits this, or Trag hits the Maestroke, and then that was just a reason that you should have Maestroke last turn. Oh yeah, I thought he averaged it back. Never mind. Well, now it doesn't matter. Now it's 100% good game. There's no out. Just attack with all three in the game. Oh my god. He's really worried that. I mean, it's easy for me. You know what? I'm not gonna fault Dan. It's easy for me to say these things because I know that there's no Mirror Force, but uh, you know, either compulse on bouncer is game. If the prison, if it is a prison and the prison was a mirror, he'd bring back Red Eyes, and Maystroke would stay. Could have played around it. Yeah, that's a misplay on Dan's part. I agree. Bye. Dan could have played around a potential mirror force because Light Pulsar would have brought back Red Eyes and Maystroke would have survived, and then the Red Eyes could have hit Victor's Maystroke. Pulsar's tied up in bounds. Um, that was another way too. Well, that's not true. Oh yeah, it is true because he could have brought back Dark Flare. But anyway, I'm not even going to go so far as to say bring out Bouncer was a mistake because the Rat wasn't out. Rat was an out then. Anyway, it's game over. Uh, uh, but true story. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, Victor. Come on, admit defeat. You needed force. Force didn't matter. Anyway, but if you wanted to go into Bouncer, even if Rat's not now, I don't mean whatever. Then by hitting the Maystroke last turn, this turn Light Pulsar would have got hit. Doesn't matter if Mirror came. You could Red Eyes hit, and then Maystroke is for game. Done. Let's check out what they might side deck. First with Victor. Victor, let's make an educated guess. Probably going to want the bottomlesses, the messengers, the soul taker. So we're looking at 5 right there. He might want the fissures, but then we're getting up into a lot of cards. That becomes 8. He might even want the Reaper, which means 9. And I don't know why he side decks Trag. But this almost seems like the matchup you might want Trag in if you want to. I don't know. That's stupid. I wouldn't want Trag in windups. I would never do that. So, I mean, at the very least, we're looking at 5 cards. At the most, we're looking at 9 cards. Realistically, he'll definitely side out the 2 Typhoons, the Heavy, probably the Veiler. The 2 Typhoons, that's 4. I don't know if he's gonna keep the Compulse. I would probably take it out. I'd probably take out the Fiendish Chains too. So I mean, I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can take out. Or sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know if he wants to take out Book. I probably would keep in Thunder Kings. Probably. At the very least, something like that. You can fit into 2 D fissures. Anyway, Prez, taking a few minutes to pull myself together. So Vic sides, Reaper, D fissure, Soul Taker, Messenger, Bottomless, Mind's Own Book, Compulse, Fiendishes, 1 Rat, Sangan. Whoa. I would not side up the Sangan. I mean, heavy spaces, you guess. I would only ever main deck, not only ever main deck, but I don't like main decking 3 rats. I prefer 2 rats, especially for reasons like when I go to side, I don't want to have a card that I have to side out. I kind of think that the people who do like three rats are the kind of people who do like three rats game 2 and 3 too, but and the heavy spaces, I guess. I see heavy, 2 space, compulse, 2 chain. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, fucking 8 rat. Let's see, 8 for 2 bottomless, 2 messenger, taker, 5. Something like that. I don't know. Whatever. And he's siding in 2 needle ceilings. Oh, that's what he was talking about, the Vader and guys. I had no idea what he was talking about. uh, most likely. It's weird he doesn't sign more for wind. I guess, he main decks the 3 Valor, 3 Max E's, thinking that he's got the good matchup against windups anyway. And that he only really won because of misplay on Victor's part. I mean, Victor was going to win through some trickery, but, let's all remember that Dan was just down to the Max C. Anyway, this is game 2. Dan is up 1-0. Oh, dust tornadoes too. I don't know why I didn't look at that. So, what? This is actually something else. Oh, there's that Reaper. Dan's list is the same as mine. Seattle minus 2K plus 2 hand traps. Yep. Reaper was out. Good job, Vic. I agree. Oh, brilliant. 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 I don't think I would have wasted the Soul Taker there. But whatever. And maybe, it could be fine. It just depends on the other cards, actually. If by nothing else, it's getting that dark removed. It's not going to be a problem later on. Dan needs a Lila. Dan needs that Lila to resolve right now. Or Heavy Storm, obviously. He would need the top deck. That's Eclipse. Or Trooper. I can't spell. Actually, it could be a number of things. It could be I don't know what. Easy game for Victor. And Dan is just getting pooped on. Oh, not a good game for him. That D Fissure put in work. I don't know that there's really a card that can really help Dan. Like he needs like the Heavy Storm and Dark Hole, and a Card Trooper and Light Pulsar all together, milling the red eyes sort of thing to have happen. And I just don't see it. He heavy solar recharge, dump Raikou. It's like the only way to come back. Trooper. There it is. Never mind. Yeah, scoop Dan. There's no way. You might just combo out with a magician and stuff right now. Call it a day. This match is so long. You wouldn't think that a matchup between windups and dragons would go on for like an hour and 15 minutes. But, you know, it is. It's crazy. Something tells me he didn't slide out a rat. Uh, kind of goes along with what I said before. Even if you uh, take out the D Fissure, the people that I know that like the three rat, they always tend to keep it in. So 40, he's going for game. Which is the right play. There's nothing. Uh, yeah. Interesting. I mean, I'd be interested to see the card that Dan had in his hand. I think it was a trooper. Anyway, so to be clear, these are their choices. I don't think I care so much for Dan's extra deck. He wastes. I mean, I think it's like, I think he probably sides this for the mirror match. The Fader Kagas Soul Exchange. Um, that seems to make the most sense to me on first glance. I can't I can't seem to think of something else that would be really particularly useful against. But that's a lot of slots, even for the mirror match. I don't even care if you're talking about like a bunch of tier two. Or I guess maybe you want to side it the Caius and Soul Exchange maybe against Dark World too or something. But I mean, those are just like a lot of slots, and they seem like subpar cards for those particular matchups. Um, I would just as well have uh, you know Electric Virus or I don't know. Whatever. This seems like it could be helping his wind-up matchup some more. You're posting features as soon as they happen. Uh, right away. The time is now 4:51 p.m. If this match is anything like the first one, this will be posted in like 2 hours. If it's anything like the second one, it will be posted in 5 minutes. I mean, I really appreciate what Dan's done in terms of deciding the main deck, the 3 Maxi and 3 Velar. I said that at the beginning of this video. Um, that it's the reason for this feature match. It's wind-ups, which is the most common deck in this tournament, against, let's see what it does against 3 Maxi and 3 Velar. Let's see how good of anti-wind-up that is. And, it's great game one. His set dust is what keeps him in this. I agree. It's great game one. Um, Game two, you do have to deal with the D fissure, so I'm wondering if like a third dust would be appropriate. I mean, probably not, right? Because he runs three Lila. I think Dan just got a little unlucky. Let's see if Victor can open up Shark Magician. I think that these cards, the Veilers and the Maxi, um, what was I gonna say? I mean, we've said it a couple times. They've got to be paired with cards like Dust Tornado or Typhoon. So that's just something to keep in mind when you yourself are trying to side deck um, uh, for windups. Unless you're relying solely on traps like Rivalry and Gozen and Needle Sealing or whatnot. This you're gonna have to deal with D-Fissure. It's a real threat. It's a real thing. And unless you pair off with a Typhoon, it's gonna be pretty useless. Dan's gonna try maybe go for a Lila right now. Seems pretty reasonable. Nope. Going with the Raikou. Probably just drew a Typhoon. I wasn't looking. I should have paid attention to the draws. I don't know if he shuffled. Agreed. Dan's thinking, oh look, the Zen mains will catch the D fissure if it comes down, but I don't know. Maybe he didn't have another. I don't know. Might have tried going Levier into that wind up rabbit if he'd saved it. It's hard to say without knowing the other cards what the right move was, but I do have my doubts that going into Zen mains on turn one is your best play. Or he could have just. I mean, he could have crap. He could have Valor in hand, and he's just trying to get some darks in the graveyard, and he's maybe got a Light Pulsar. Yeah, I mean, you don't. It's really tough to say. I guess Victor can't get over the Zen main. I suppose. You think Victor? I think Vic Decided a factory. Oh, Victor opened up with 3D fissure. I mean, that's kind of when I play in locals or something. I've never uh, gone to an event with windups, but when I play in local tournaments or something like that, and I side deck that 3D fissure, that never works out for me. I always draw way too many. And I mean, I understand. Uh, One second, unless he was expecting shots. Oh, um, uh, Dan's gonna try to maxi Typhoon, but can't. Anyway, uh, I what was I gonna say? Um, oh yeah, it always happens to me. It's always the case for me that um, I always draw too many of those dimensional fissures, and they wind up being like kind of useless. But I mean, I understand why you want to see it turn one and why people use it, but I'm just personally not a fan. It's one of those things where I would rather transition my wind up deck into like a hero deck so that if you're looking at, for example, 3 Maxis and 3 Veilers, you're not down to deal with any of that, rather than have to rely on a dimensional fissure, which can be useless. Which isn't to say it's useless in this situation. I mean, it caught that Maxi. He had the wind up rabbit. Uh, like it worked out. That one worked out for Victor, but the real question is more in my mind something like if he's got 2D fissures and up in his hand and one in his field, those could be 3 other cards that might be putting pressure on in a different sort of way. Set Dust Needle. Needle would be strong, so strong. I mean, obviously Needle Sealing would be strong. Let's see what he's looking at. I mean, I don't see there's a play that he would do anything other than Zenmaity. Zenmaity's the only thing. Whoa. Oh, I'm so stupid. I totally forgot he has Zenmain's up. Yeah, that's a fine play too. He has the option of going Zenmaity, Rat, Rabbit, and trying to grind, but I guess he prefers to play around the needle. That's fine. That's a good play. I no qualms about that play. Victor, you did a great job. You're playing around needles. I don't think it's a needle ceiling. Um, he 100% could win the grind game with triple D. I 100% think it's needle ceiling. I mean, sorry. I think it's either Dust Tornado or Typhoon face down. I don't think it's a needle ceiling. It could be, um, but when he said, what was it? One moment. That made me think that it was Typhoon. That could be Dan just trying to bluff, though. Trying to be like an outside observer. But even if Vic, you are playing around the needle ceiling, and you're also getting rid of the Zen mains without investing much. Fine plays all around. No qualms about it. My only concern would be is if that is a typhoon, now he's given Dan the opportunity to typhoon the face down, flip up a Raiko, middle of light, and then run over the tempo, which would be terrible for him, for Victor. But that means Dan's got to have both, and he could. There's nothing saying he can't, but I guess he's waiting for Storm. I need to kill him rather quickly. Yeah, there's the dust. And he set the diffusion, which is whatever. Flip Raiko, mill light. That would be interesting. Whoa, whoa. Whoa. What is that? Face down. Like, oh my. Whoa, that is weird. Uh, well, uh, okay. This was totally unexpected. Um, Dan's got a good element of surprise here. Even though I had access, could be right going nice down. Well, I mean, okay, I guess. I suppose that's what I get for waiting. It's all a waiting game. So Dan, I mean, even with access to his extra deck, I had no idea he was gonna go into Caius. I mean, did he side deck the soul exchanges and the faders too? Um, I have no idea. That Caius got there tremendously. Word. Um, like I don't understand why you would want soul exchanges. I guess maybe you think Shock is gonna call monsters or something. I don't really know. I can't see it being anything besides Raiko Night Assail. Dan's kind of upset that the Victor opened up with 3-dimensional fissures. All around, you know, to be quite honest, this isn't a bad game. I'm really happy I picked this as the feature match for this round because of all the matches I've seen so far. Um, it's one person stomping on another person, and game two like that was like that here, but games 1 and 3, it really could go either way. Um, and which that might not be something that you necessarily expect coming from windups and dragons. If I could just top Shark, if you could just and right, that's the feeling. If he could just draw a storm, he could have rat targeted self, gotten a rabbit and gotten to maybe. Oh, I know what he's talking about with the magician, right? Yeah. I don't know why you boarded out factory. That card is a win condition. You need to shut the fuck up. Yeah, I sensed he sided out the factory. I don't agree with that. Maybe one, maybe, But if you did more than that, then that's a no-no. That was a mistake, Victor. Oh, let's check out the Watcher chat. Is that Ottawa, my last major went to the Nets in Toronto? Just reading the thing while Dan's thinking. Dan is a slow player. Why didn't Magician trigger Shark when revealed instead of lowering trigger? Oh, they're talking about the other game. I thought the same thing. I remember that. That was something I was thinking about. Um, uh, nah, he fucked up. Yeah. Why didn't Magician trigger Shark? I remember to make. I wanted to make a note of that, but whatever. That was last game. Not sure about this. Oh, there that goes. I could. Definitely deserve to lose this match. That's for sure. That's what Victor said before. Anthony Alvarado's thoughts on the state of Florida. I knew it was a Ryko. It had to be a Ryko. Target that and then drop. Oh, so clutch. So clutch. Word. That's a good point. I didn't even point that out. I should have, right? That was a mistake. Uh, so um, Victor didn't use Temtempo's effect on the Zen mains, and that gave. I mean, when you're playing against a deck like Dragons, that's really something. Uh, um, you need to be aware of. They could just tribute that off, and then boom, they can run over your 2200 Temtempo. I think that was a mistake on Victor's part, not necessarily because he should have anticipated the Caius, but because he could have tributed for anything. TT was the only card I didn't want to see. Yeah, that was clutch. I do want to credit Dan, whichever way this match swings. And right now he needs either Lila or Typhoon and something, to keep it going. Which it's not to say that he can't get that. He's not in bad shape or anything like that. I do want to credit Dan with taking his time, even though it's taking too much time. But I want to credit him with taking his time and thinking through his plays. Victor, on the other hand, especially in game one, didn't do that. And he's and it's not like he's had many options here in game three to display some sort of um, I guess thinking ahead, but not getting what I want here. Uh, but The one time he did have the opportunity to think ahead, and he didn't. He dropped the ball 100%. So whichever way this game swings, um, I think I would say that the person who's playing better in this match is Dan. Um, uh, Victor was very fortunate to make all those three D fissures worked out. He set the one. He didn't have to, but that was just bait, and he got use out of all of them. Dan's kind of fortunate he had answers to the other two. Not so fortunate that he doesn't have an answer for this third one. That makes me curious. Makes me think it's like a. I don't think the Phoenix Chains are still in the main deck, but it kind of makes me think it's a solemn warning. Like he doesn't want to hit the face down because it's a Ryko or a Night Assailant. He doesn't want to lose his guys. Maybe so clutch. Could you like? I'm not saying that Dan would be in a a worse situation if that was a wind up factory, if that defissure was a wind up factory. But to know that Victor did side out at least one, probably more wind up factories, and that he could have gotten something going here uh, is kind of, I imagine, disappointing for Victor. Again, not to say that not sighting in 3D fissures wasn't the right call, but it's just kind of disappointing that now his deck doesn't have as many power plays outside of the Magician Shark. Like your rabbits don't do as much. They're just kind of just bouncing. And the second Dan drops something big, he's gonna have to exceed them into something else or whatever. But I guess if Dan just keeps drawing like that, he's just giving Victor all day. Nothing I guess he can do about it. Victor's got to know. On the other hand, Victor's got to know that he's in good shape. He's got more cards. Yeah, he said this is what he's saying. He's saying I want to win already. If he's trying to slow play, he doesn't want to run into that. Like just give it up. Maybe give up the D fissure. There's no way that Dan's gonna flip up the Ryko. Uh, unless you want to just give Dan all day. Dan runs. He's got the heavy. He's got a dust. I think three typhoons. A heavy. Or I said heavy. One, two, three, four, five. Five other Rykos. You're just gonna give Dan all day, and you know, I don't know. Unless he wants to wait till he draws a magician, but then that's, I mean, you're racing to one of three magicians while your opponent's racing to one of five spell or trap removal cards to get rid of the face down, and your opponent's deck is smaller. Like I feel like if I was in Victor's situation right now, I would maybe be trying to play a little more aggressively. Oh, the pot of avarice. That was stupid, right? I should. That was another card. Forgot. Minus avarice. Owen's saying it isn't worth analyzing from our point of view because we can't predict what he's gonna do if he isn't playing in an optimal fashion. Uh, we're talking about. I don't know if you can read it in the video. We're talking about Victor's side deck choices. He sided out. Um, I think all three. Whoa! I don't think that was what I would have done. Trying to hit the torrential. Ah, that makes no fucking sense. I don't even know what just happened. Was Victor trying to protect his rabbits and not the D-Fisher? That doesn't make any. I'm so confused. Um. Anyway. I mean that worked out. I mean that's crazy that that worked out like that. I mean he's gonna pop this, but that's probably gonna be chained. Yeah. Or not chained, but used right now. Yeah. This is suddenly, Dan's got an opportunity here. That was such a bad misplay on Victor's part. I don't know why he did that. Oh my gosh. He's just all he did was trade his wind up rabbit for wind up Zenmates. That doesn't. Anyway, so Owen's telling me he's. I said he's also recording this in case this video doesn't compress right or whatever, and he's of the opinion that isn't worth analyzing from our point of view because we can't predict um, what Victor's going to do if he's not playing optimally. We can make a predict. I mean, I don't agree. We can make a prediction. We can see if he follows along. We can criticize his plays, etc., etc. He's reborning the rabbit so that when Zen Mains pops in the end phase, he can target the rabbit and then chain and not lose a card. It's not like great. I still think this face down is a warning. I suppose this could be. I guess it could be a solid. It could be anything. There's nothing. There's no reason it can't be anything. But it'd be interesting to see Dan drop a card trooper or something right now. With a Gores in hand. Wouldn't that be neat? Oh, that's interesting. Maybe Dan's just holding on to a bunch of hand traps. Whoa. Why would you even reveal that? No, you're not supposed to flip book. Uh, no, just let the Zenmains die. Don't use the book. Oh my god. He showed the warning. Uh, you flipped warning, book. Oh, never mind. You popped warning. My bad. Ah, my bad. I totally misread that. Okay. I don't think I would have done that. He thinks he had to have drawn another trap, maybe another warning. He thinks he's gonna get away with just beating down Dan. It could work out. I'm not saying it's the bad play. It depends if he drew another warning. If he drew anything else, if he drew like a torrential, then no. Okay, that's fair. You better have something else though. Okay. He drew a magician. Unless there's another kind of fun that I don't know about. Oh, that is another kind of fun. That Reaper's clutch. Goes Fader. That Fader didn't. Whoa. Fader suddenly mattered. Well, not mattered, but was useful in some sense. I don't think it was ideal, though. Can't imagine whatever he cited out for it was less preferable. It's a classic messenger of peace against dragons. You know, when you've got ways to stop Lilas and stuff like that. And certainly a lot of Dan's spell and trap removal's been baited out already, but Dan still got like a lot left. He's still got, I think, 2 Lilas. I think he's still got the 3 MSTs and a Dust Tornado and a Heavy Storm. Like there, and Raikou. I mean, there's, uh, it's just it's one of those things where when you play windups, Messenger of Peace seems intuitively to make a lot of sense because dragons, you're thinking, oh, monster wise, outside of Lila's, there's not much that they can do, but they really do. They have Lila's, they've got Raikos. They main board the Typhoons and they side in Dust Tornadoes. Uh, it's worse when they side in Decrees. That's something that's worth noting. I mean, well, not worse, but I guess if you're gonna be like, I don't know why he didn't attack. Unless he really did draw that warning that time. I said that he had to have drawn a warning. Um, I lost my train of thought. Oh, Dust Tornado is a good version windup because a factory and because of messenger. So I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying that when you see decrees too, which is the alternative that they side in. If they're not siding Dust in, they side decree. It's just as bad in the sense that Decree takes care of everything else. There's none of the, oh look, I'm gonna play a guessing game, see if I can hit the torrential. Like Decree will take care of that, and Lila's and whatnot will take care of the rest. Um, it's one of those things that it's not. It's always seemed to me to be an overrated side deck card against dragons because they have a lot of answers to it. Uh, I might have. I'm not. I don't know. And Dad too. I didn't even think of Dad. Dad was Dark Armed is another answer. Just a lot of answers to it. But in this situation, I mean, it's doing what it's supposed to do. Apparently, unless Dan really doesn't have anything. I suppose that's something worth noting. That'd be really funny if Dan didn't have anything, and he's just being saved from taking 1900 because Victor wants to keep the. Whoa, this Caius, man. Such a slow game. I hope YouTube lets me upload this. It would be very inconvenient if they didn't. Yo, money. I'm a little concerned. I don't think Dan knows what he wants to hit. I think, he wants to hit the messenger, but then he's just going to get hit. It doesn't really work out for him the way he wants it to. He wishes he could hit the Phoenix Chain and the messenger. Maybe he just wants to mill. I don't think that's it, but could be something. I don't, I don't know why. I'm not sure I would have done that. He might have like, I mean, I don't remember what was in the graveyard. He could have like a red eyes and a light, trying to mill a light pulsar. It's possible. Whoa. Oh, that's fine. Something else to note. Um, not that, not that it's any reason not to run Fiendish Chain. Um, but when you're playing a deck that has like small monsters, weak attack monsters like windups. I mean, windups in particular, everyone knows they rely on exceeds and stuff. But when you run a deck like that with Fiendish Chain is great as an effect negator, somewhat like an effect veiler. But there is that similar concern of, oh look, now you've got to beat over the monster, uh, or invest some sort of resource in getting over it. Uh, um, it's one of those things I didn't really like about the Fiendish Chain with some older decks when people when it first came out, when it was first being used and everything, back when plants were around and stuff like that. Um, it's really good. Like it's a lot better, or it gets better when you have like a deck with the big monsters, like say like machines. When you have the Machina Fortress or something, and you don't have to, and you run like Machina cannons and stuff. You can just pitch it and run over the thing that you tried negating, without investing another resource. It's kind of obvious. I'm not saying anything other than that. I guess this would be worst case scenario. Let's check out the Watchers chat. Uh, Not much going on here. Cold, cold, cold. Which game is this? 3. Nice. Wow, really? Oh, lol. Does anyone realize how different this would be if he didn't save the Zen mains? Or open with 3 fissure? Oh yeah. That bunch of spaces. It's kind of funny there are 9 Watchers, and it's a password protected game. Okay, something's happening. He paid 100 for Messenger of Peace, and now he's gonna go into Zenmadi and pop off. It's weird. It's almost like he. I don't think any of these games has been able to like resolve Magician like that. Or at least like do crazy wind up nonsense. I want to give credit to Victor, who seems to be slowing down his play. Not that I like slow matches, but it indicates that he's trying to take his time and not misplay. Like he really wants to grind out a win right now. He's in a good spot. I mean, neither player's in a necessarily like in a bad spot. Um, but he's taking it step by step. I think I would be a little more aggressive if I was Victor. Like for example, I might have Zen made on the turn previous without waiting an additional turn. And in fact, I think that's the turn that Dan drew the effect veiler, so that might have been like a decisive thing. Like you don't want to give your opponent, like he should know from game one that his opponent's playing a lot of max C's and effect failures. Like I think he saw like at least two max C's and three effect failures. Uh, the fact that your opponent had like two cards in his hand, like that seems like almost as good time as any if you're going to ever go into Zen Meiji to go into Zen Meiji then. And he didn't. He just said, okay, go. And then Dan drew and passed back, and then Victor's like, oh, now I'm getting bored. Let me go into Zen Meiji, and up there was a Veiler. So I mean, it now, for example, if Dan draws something else like a Typhoon right now or whatever, that's the sort of thing that can really backfire if you're just not being aggressive. You're giving your opponent too many cards. Which isn't to say he couldn't have already had an effect failure, but it might not be the case. Anyway, so Dan's finally gonna pop with Lila. He's tributing both Red Eyes. I sensed he had a Red Eyes. I'm pretty sure he had a Red Eyes and a Light back when he first summoned Lila. He was probably trying to see uh, get rid of or trying to mill a Light Pulsar, like I said. And I don't remember if he used Dark Hole yet, but not now. Uh, this matters. I don't think Victor um, could have done that any different. Uh, I think Zenmaidi was the right one to bring out there. If your opponent isn't getting through your messenger a piece for a few turns, you've got to assume that maybe you can get one more or something. I just probably would have brought it out a little sooner. He was gonna say that he never saw a magician yet. He's got to deal with the red eyes. It's gonna be a problem, big problem. Dan was really trying to mill a life pulsar. I bet all three are still in his deck. That's really funny. Or two. I don't know what's in the graveyard. Oh, yeah, they're probably not in the graveyard. He might have another one. I don't think there's another one. Yeah. Probably all three in deck. Never mind. Dan keeps pointing out that Victor opened up with 3D fissures. It's impressive, like it's still game's still going on. Card advantage is still there. Um, Dan won game one. Victor won in game two. So Dan opened up first. Yeah, advantage is even right now. There's the dark hole. He had to have that. That was important. Or the magician. That's unfortunate for Victor. I agree, Anthony Alvarado. This is a good game. No one's drawing the Redskins and Seahawks. uh, uh, no one's drawing like nutty hands. There's no, oh look, I'm gonna mill the eclipse and pop off with a dad on turn one. There's no magician shark. It's just grind games. It could go either way. It depends what people draw, and it depends how they do the intermediary things in the right order and whatnot. I think the person who's had the more opportunities. Actually, let me ask this everyone. Dan, how do you think my dog feels? She's been waiting for me to walk her this whole time. Who do you think has had more opportunities to win this game? Well, that Reaper's pretty clutch. Gores or Trag, yeah, definitely Gores. Oh, busted. Oh, that hurts. BLS. Where are all the boss monsters? You missed 2 turns. Wow. Anthony's making the point right now that the Gores token's level 7 and that Dan had a Veiler in his hand. But Sorry about that. Anyway, uh, oh, so Anthony was making the point before about the gores taken. I'm gonna be so upset. This game took 2 hours, but yeah, my dog puts it in the living room. And so Anthony was making the point that the gores token was level 7, and uh, with the Valor, he's like, well, why didn't you make a level 8? Well, this is the answer. There's no level 8. It's one of those reasons why uh, I really don't like. Well, not really don't like, but one of those things you have to be aware of when you play uh, Valor, that you need to have synchros because opportunities come up and you don't want to blow those opportunities. Xena said, I legitimately bust to the mall to pick something up, came back and cooked, and got back online. Oh, that's funny. This is a really long game. Ridiculously long. I'm probably going to have to break it up if I want to post on YouTube. I can't believe I've spent this much time on this. Hopefully it ends soon, one way or the other. It looks like it's Victor's game. It looks like those are dust tornadoes or needle ceilings. That's the only card I would be. Let me call it out. It's a good game. Well, it's about time. I respect you, Vic. But I gotta say, I'm not too happy with how Game 3 went. Yeah. Uh, about time. That was insane to the infinite level. Shit was wild. You know what? Um, my closing thoughts here are. Oh, you know what? Let me. Damn. Show face down for the camera. I'm gonna call Needle Ceiling and Dust Tornado or Typhoon just cause. Charge heavy. Ah, I'm so off. Anyway, um, anyway, so here are my closing thoughts. 2 hours 11 minutes. I think Dan played really well for the most part. I think there were two things I might have done differently. One or two. I don't remember if he did the Zen mains play or if that was Victor. Um, Victor though had a few plays that I would have done differently. I'm not saying I'm God here or anything like that, but I think I can defend them better than the plays that he wound up doing. And if you didn't have that TT, I was gonna go right go the set trip. Also, I really count to be no. Make sure I didn't instantly post anything. And this match would be my second 2 hour long match in which. So Victor won. I don't necessarily think he played better. Uh, and it's also worth noting that uh, Dan won game one with the 3 Maxi and 3 Valor against the windup, but it was not that useful because of the D fissures game 2 and 3. So one of the things that we're going to look at when this tournament's over is how effective decks are against each other, but also how effective they are against each other games 1 versus post sideboard. So it just goes to show you that sideboarding matters. But anyway, uh, that's all for this match. Again, Victor Nolen just knocked out, or didn't knock out, but he beat Dan LaMartina in round one of the YGOverdose Dueling Network TCG Advanced Format Tournament. Uh, take it easy.